In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to use the French knitting bee from Classic Knit. This kit I found at Hobby Lobby and it wasn't that expensive, and it gives you the knitting bee and the awl, the stick right here, which creates your iCord, and then it gives you a two-sided pom-pom maker so that you can make either small or large pom-poms. On the back, it gives you instructions on how to use everything. And in this video, I'll be showing you how you can use them. So first you want to take all your pieces out. So this is what the knitting bee looks like. It has the white here are little rubber grippers to help you hold it when working your iCord. And these are the pegs that you create your iCord with, and it goes down into the center and it comes out the bottom. Here's the awl, which is the pick that we use to make the iCord. And it has a cap. And you can see right here is a groove, which you can kind of use to lift up your yarn. And this is the tip that goes in through our loop to help us pull it around our pegs. So this too has the rubber gripper to help you hold it when working your iCord. As for yarn, you can use any yarn that will fit through the hole. So if you're using bulky yarn, you want to make sure that it's not too bulky to not fit down here. So you probably could use most medium weight yarns and somewhat chunky, and you can also use decorative yarn. So when you're working your iCord, you're going to be rotating it counterclockwise. So you just want to pick your yarn, and this is just a normal medium 4-ply yarn. And you're going to start off by feeding the tail of your yarn down through the center of your device, just until it pokes out at the bottom. So once it pokes out the bottom, you just want to hold on to it. So after you wind it in, you're going to take your yarn and you're going to pick a peg, and I find that you work in a clockwise direction. You're going to take your yarn and you're going to double wrap a loop. So you're going to go over it once and make sure you hold on the bottom to keep your tension. You want to hold it down here with your fingers to keep the tension. So wrap it once and then wrap it again. Then you're going to take your awl and you're going to lift up that first loop that was placed on our peg up and over the second loop and down. Then you can kind of tug a little on your tail. So now we've created our first loop. So after you complete your first stitch, then you're going to rotate your device counterclockwise and you're going to double wrap the next peg. So that's one loop, two loops, and then I just hold it on the opposite side with my finger. Then you're going to take your awl and you're going to pick up that first loop, pick it up over the second loop. Then you kind of tug on your tail and your working yarn. Then after you've done your second loop, you're going to rotate it counterclockwise. You're going to double wrap this next peg. Hold the yarn on the other side. Then you're going to lift up the first loop. So lift the first loop up and over the second. Tug lightly on your tail and on your working yarn. Rotate counterclockwise. Double wrap their next and final peg. Then lift the first loop up and over the second. So now you've completed your first round making your iCord. So now from here, we're just going to rotate counterclockwise and wrap our peg once. And we're going to pull the first loop up and over the second loop. Then you keep rotating counterclockwise, wrapping the yarn over the peg and pulling the first loop over the second loop. You can even use your finger to hold down the second loop so you don't pull that one off as well. Then once you have it pulled over, you just tighten your working yarn a little bit and make sure you keep tension on the tail, because that's what's going to help feed it down the center. Then counterclockwise rotation, wrap your yarn, pick up the first loop, up and over the second loop, then rotate, and you just keep repeating that until you get the length of iCord that you're working for. Now when you're working these, if you happen to lose your loop, like let's say you're lifting this one over and it drops like this, don't worry about the loop you were trying to pull it over. Keep the loop you were pulling, because that's your stitch. Then you just put it back on your loop like that, tug down on your tail, and then just put the yarn back over and start again. But make sure you keep a hold of that one you're trying to pull up and off, because that's the one you want to keep. If you lose that, then you'll lose all your stitches. So you just do it again, and you can hold either side of your yarn and pull your loop over. And we'll just repeat that until it comes out the end. So now that we have our cord coming out the bottom, I'm just going to do one more round, and then we're going to start, then I'll show you how to finish it off. So I find using my finger while lifting up this first loop, right here on the side, pushing down on here while pulling up, works pretty good, because it helps you get your loop over without pulling the first loop off too, or the second loop. One thing though that I noticed, that if this was just slightly curved, more like a crochet hook, I think it would work a little better. So even if you want to just ditch the tool they give you and use a small crochet hook, it probably would work a little better. So now that we have our cord made, I will show you now how to finish it off. To finish off your iCord, you're going to cut a length of yarn and thread it onto a tapestry needle. Then you'll be on your last loop. You're just going to pick up your next one going in the same counterclockwise motion as you've been making your iCord, and you're just going to slip off each stitch after you pick them up with your tapestry needle. Now this is the easiest way I found to close them off, because the instructions are a little vague, so I think this looks the best. And then once you have it all tight, then you're just going to pull your iCord out of your little device and pull your end tight. And now you've made your iCord. Now I'll show you how to use the pom-pom maker. So I'm going to teach you how to make a small pom-pom. So you're going to take your yarn and cut a 6 to 8 inch length of yarn. And you're going to lay that in between the two posts on your pom-pom maker and just leave it there for later. This is the yarn we'll be using to hold our pom-pom together. So now you're going to take your yarn and lay it over the fork, and you can use your thumb to secure it. And you're just going to wrap around both pegs and push it down, and you want to keep it pretty tight together. You're only going to be doing one layer. I find if you do 2 layers, you end up getting uneven lengths of yarn and you have to trim too much. So just wind it and push it really tight together to get a full pom-pom. So once you have it wrapped to the fullest, then you're just going to cut your yarn. And you can trim any uneven ones later on. Then you're going to grab that strand that we put in between, and you're going to pull it up to the top of your peg. And you're going to tie a knot. You're going to work this in different sections because you won't be able to pull it tight. So just pull it as tight as you can at the moment. And hold those up. Now you're going to take your scissors, and you see that there's this groove line on the side of your pom-pom maker. You're just going to slide your scissors up that groove and snip your yarn. Work a little bit on both sides because once you cut it, it will start to slip off. Then you're going to take your 2 pieces and pull as tight as you can, and like super tight. And take it off of your fork. Pull as tight as you can, and you're going to tie it into a knot. So just tie it one more time so that it's super secure. Now if you're going to be weaving this onto something, you want to keep the tails that you just tied and then fluff the remaining tails. You could have some fall out. Those are just ones that didn't quite make it in there. And you can trim it and just fluff to your liking. And there is the small pom-pom. And then you would repeat the same process for the larger pom-pom, just on the larger side of the device. So here's the comparison from the large and the small pom-pom. So you get a pretty good range of sizes for any project that you're using this for. So that was my demo of this Knitting Bee iCord kit. My thoughts on it, as I'm not really fond of the iCord maker. It's super cute. It's easy, I guess, if like for beginners or smaller kids, because it could be fun for them just to keep wrapping over the loops and stuff. But I would prefer just using double pointed needles and do the traditional iCord method. And not saying that all manual iCord makers are bad. It's just I wasn't really fond of this one's method of making it. But I do, however, really like the pom-pom maker. I think it makes the best size for your projects. I really like the small sized one, and the large one is really full and nice. So I do like this for the pom-pom maker in itself. But overall, this is just a fun kit to pick up and play around with for beginners and anyone that just wants a neat little tool. So I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.